But
anyway.
so like even like, because like Xbox was really doing well during the 360 days because they had launched the fucking console before HD was really ready to go. Because they wanted to get in that PS2 pie really badly because they, even though the 2001 Xbox is relatively successful, I guess they wanted more. So 360 comes out 2005, jumpstarts the HD revolution in video games, and yeah, like kids my brother's age at the time were like really into Xbox, and then once the Xbox One got announced, they all abandoned ship and jumped on the fucking PC train and never looked back.
Yeah, because what happened was with the Xbox, what really tied a lot of people and brought people flock to them to it was the online portion of Xbox that was really well done.
Yeah,
you got your Halo, you had really good multiplayer games. PlayStation 2 kind of had its stuff, but it wasn't as good as the Xbox. And then we get into 360. Everybody integrated and knew the stuff from the Xbox, wanted to play multiplayer on the 360, so that kind of stayed there.
God damn it, I pressed the button.
I love it when Michael says that. God damn it, I pressed the button. Mike, you saved that as an audio clip right now and send it to me.
But then Xbox screwed the pooch with their very controversial... what was it? Digital only? You don't own your games at all?
Oh, yeah.
It's all happening now, but they were ahead of the curve.
If you bought, like, a copy of the game, you got a digital license to use that, and if you wanted to get a second, use that game on a second console, you had to buy a second digital license to use it. So it was like, yeah, the medium.
That's exactly what Xbox did with their DRM in 2013. And
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's
even
what
worse.
Lost them the console
and now it's just
generation.
Now it's just okay that Nintendo's doing it.
Are they doing that?
Are they?
Oh no, I thought you were saying Nintendo's doing that right now.
No.
We were talking about Xbox One and 2013.
Yeah, ruining everything.
I thought you were saying Nintendo was doing that.
No,
so
no,
we
were still
oh my
on
god,
Xbox.
no.
And then,
well, you want to know what's funny though is that right after that announcement came out for Xbox about the stupid digital license thing, Sony's YouTube channel posted a video called "How to Share Games on PS4."
Yep. I just think you remember that, and I got a boner when I watched it. I still remember that marketing.
And it's literally just two Japanese people in suits handing a like the plastic DVD case to each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
And why, after that, PlayStation took off and why Xbox is struggling to basically catch up, everybody switched to PlayStation and they built their digital libraries on PlayStation. And that's a big aspect of like, because when you have a library and everything all in one, you don't want to like buy another console and not have your library there. The library could carry on to your PS5, your PS4 and everything. You get an upgrade of the console, it stays there. People don't want to switch that. That's why everybody's sticking
those
to
textures
it. Everybody's
look really
on there.
bad. Look at that shit. Look at this.
What?
Look at this texture.
Oh.
That's like Nintendo 64 texture.
Yeah, that's amazing though, Alonso. I never thought of that before. That they don't want to. They'll lose their digital library if they switch to a different upgraded console.
Yeah, or a different console, like a new brand. Like if you switch to Xbox.
I did not know.
Yeah,
I had no idea. That's awesome.
That's why Microsoft is really losing and has been trying to catch up. That's why they did the Game Pass to basically get people in there, build a digital library for free.
And that's still not working out for them?
No, they
that
lost
seems to be
much.
the most profitable, successful part of their games is Game Pass at this point.
What is that, Michael?
I said that Game Pass is the most successful thing Xbox has been doing recently. I don't know how successful relative to anything else, but...
Successful is a interesting term. I think it's still losing them money, just at the structure of... It's to try to get more people on there to buy the consoles, I think... I had to look back into it, but I think Game
there's
Pass
also the
and all
PC
that loses
Game
them money.
Pass, so... Which is, an admission that the console isn't doing well.
Yeah.
I remember that being a big deal when it was announced, but it's back when E3 was still a thing. We do
memories.
Talk about that on the show or on the podcast. Like we would always talk about E3 and like I would always say like, oh, We Happy Few looks like an interesting game from the Xbox showcase.
Oh, that
and then
game.
I
boy,
never,
Zombie U.
yeah,
We're
and then
gonna
I
play
never ended
Zombie U
up
for the
playing
show.
any of those games because, you know, I don't know why, but
Which
it's
games?
just any of the games that were like a focus of the Xbox part of E3 showcase, because usually they had good presentations, quote unquote, but I never ended up playing anything they announced.
They didn't have a lot of
I guess
exclusives
Halo
was an
Infinite.
issue as well, or at least they didn't have anything to kind of bring people to the console as well.
Yeah, well, that didn't seem to really be a problem from them in the 360 days, because they had Halo, they had Fable, and I guess Gears.
Yeah, because they had
And that was
the
kind of it.
developers and everything like that. I think most of those developers left or the teams went on. And then Microsoft had the idea, hey, let's instead of getting exclusives, let's just buy the studios because we have billions of
Yes.
dollars.
Well, to be fair, Sony's doing that too at this point.
Oh yeah, but I mean, Microsoft has bought much larger. I mean, Sony's doing this thing.
They
but
bought
to
Bethesda.
compare
How
Sony
much
to
was
Microsoft
Bethesda?
is a very comparing a bus to a skyscraper. The way the amount of money that Microsoft has.
How many billions of dollars
What?
did Bethesda alone go for?
Oh god, it was a huge.
I hate it when I just die and I don't have any idea I'm low on health. That's one of my least favorite things. All my points are gone. Thanks,
is
video
that your
game.
life in the bottom?
Yes, but I'm not looking down there. I'm looking at the center of the screen
Right.
where I am.
Bethesda.
Your health is low. Your health is low.
Yeah,
Well, I
Microsoft
tried to
bought
warn you.
Bethesda for $7.5 billion.
But then PlayStation or bought a different studio after that. But who was it again? Oh, it was the company that made Bungie.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, did they buy them?
Didn't they buy
I-
them? I swore they did.
I think they. I think you're right. I just forgot about that.
Oh yeah. They bought him for Destiny, and Destiny is a flop.
And now they're
See, this is
making
the most
an extraction shooter out of Marathon for some fucking reason.
Yeah, Bungie was
This
bought
is the most
by
I've spoken
Sony
about
for
modern
3.6
gaming
billion.
in years. I haven't spoken about modern video games in years,
Yeah,
so
I love dying
I'm way out of
near
loop
the
on
end of the
this shit.
fucking level because the game didn't bother to tell me I was low on health. Thanks, video game. All right, there's
you
probably
have to go
another.
all the way back and get that shit again.
All I lost was my rank, but I'm still annoyed with that. Like, you gotta have fucking something in your video game to tell you when you're low on health, because I'm not looking down there, usually. Alright, I'm gonna upgrade my shield, because it was clearly not up to snuff in this level. Moving on.
Moving on.
Oh, you want something funny about moving on? You know that one song called "Move Along"?
Yes.
By
By the All American Reject.
Yeah.
When I was young,
Oh my god. I think that's the Super Mario Sunshine font right there.
Oh.
very cold. I thought the song was called "Mow the Lawn," and I remember thinking it was the stupidest shit I'd ever heard in my life. I was like, "What do you mean mow the lawn? It's so stupid."
Why would they
And-
make a song about that?
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. I thought it was called "Mow the Lawn." Like, even if you hope it's gone, I was like, what's it? You mean the lawn? Even if you hope the lawn is gone, you still have to mow the lawn? What the fuck? And I said that when I was like working one day at Dairy Queen. I was like, oh, this song's so stupid. It's called "Mow the Lawn." And then a girl was like, no, it's called "Move Along." And I was like, the realization that went through my head right then and there at that
Ethan,
moment.
look at these
I was
apples.
It all makes sense.
Hey, look at those
Alonzo,
little
don't look
paper
at it.
dolls.
Only I'm so look at it.
Oh.
That is bad. It's even worse than Resident Evil 6.
Yeah. Well, we basically have we talked about like we finished 3 of the playthroughs now, and everybody, because like Ethan and I both agreed that Chris's campaign sucked a fat one and was the worst of the 3 that we played.
They all kind of suck.
Oh, it's horrible. Oh, yeah, they all kind of suck, but Chris's was really bad. It was really fucking bad.
Yeah, it was not good.
And then I was looking it up on Reddit, and the consensus seems to be that it's the best one. And I thought I was living on a different planet for a second. It's like, are you kidding me?
That's like how every single online consensus also says that Austin Powers 2 is the best one.
Yeah, even though it was
Like,
basically a rehash of the first one.
Like, did you watch the same movie that I watched? What the hell? How anybody could think that Chris's campaign is the best, let alone that be the consensus?
I had to replay it, but I think it might be because it has more ammo and it just plays a little bit better since it's more of the military shooter kind.
There's no shortage of ammo, let me tell you.
I think
that's part of the problem, is that the game is, like, the combat sucks because there's no feedback. Like, the feedback for the combat is, like, compared to 5, is really lacking. So you shoot things, but it doesn't feel fun to shoot things because the enemies barely react to it, apart from when they die.
And they, like, half of the goddamn enemies have a second form, so that nothing dies in one hit.
So, like, you headshot the fucking Juavo, and half the time they turn into a grasshopper or one of those gorilla things.
Yeah, and you have to shoot them again and again and again and again and again, and it does not feel satisfying at all. Because, like, what the best thing in Resident Evil 4 is when you pull out that shotgun in a room filled with enemies swarming you, and you have two of those
flying,
and you have two of those blind guys, you know, that, like, they react to sound.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's better than getting trapped in a corner, flipping around, taking out your shotgun, and exploding an enemy in one hit as they go flying and their limbs rip off. That is awesome. How they could take that and do what they did in Resident Evil 6 is like, were they from the same planet?
I know that one person, I think he's a commentator in our videos, so GM shows. I have no idea how his name is pronounced because there's an X in it.
We have a small fan base. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm glad that you comment and interact with us. I'm terrible at remembering people's screen names, so I apologize.
His argument for Chris, we're going to start a new session real quick because we're almost at 45. 3,
right, let's not go over 2 hours, okay?
Okie dokes.
Collectively or just in one? Well, I guess whatever. But his argument, jam shows or jam so's or jam zos, I have no idea how it's pronounced, was that Chris was the most honest of the three, because, like, Leon's campaign still has pretensions of being a horror game. Like, it still tries at least, because there's more focus on zombies. You go through a catacomb and stuff, whereas Chris's is just straight up a COD clone almost. It's clearly trying to court that audience.
Yeah, that's because I watched some retrospectives on the game after we finished it, because I'm like, what does anybody actually have to say about this? And they're all saying, like, yeah, it tried to please everybody, but in that sense, it made it feel bloated, and that nothing was particularly good out of any of the areas it was trying to dip its hand into.
Yeah.
And, like, Call of Duty was really popular at the time, so that's what Chris's campaign came from. And when I was young, I liked Call of Duty. I only played like the zombie mode. And the campaigns. I never really played online because that's just not the type of video game that I enjoy. So when I was young, I played the Chris campaign first.
Right.
Because I recognized them from Resident Evil 5, which to that point was the only other Resident Evil game I'd ever played. That's what I liked. Call of Duty campaigns at that time, and I thought that was the worst shit I had ever played in my life. Oh, make that the thumbnail of this video, please.